when making beds, we ask our clients to leave a set of fresh sheets on the bed. I think what usually happens is we get something like this where we get a pile somewhere in the room because we're helping a busy family or somebody who doesn't have a ton of free time. So we're looking for a pile. Best case, we actually will have some nice new folded sheets out on the bed for us. And then we have everything that is on the bed. Best rule of thumb is if it's on the bed, it's coming off, and if it's in the pile or folded on the bed, it's going on. So I'm just going to strip everything off the bed. Okay, so now I have everything stripped in a pile right here, and I have fresh sheets to go on. Okay, as often happens, I have the fitted sheet. It was tucked into the blanket and it is wet. Again, when you come in across something like this, if it's not too wet, we're just gonna throw it on the bed and make it like we normally would. And that would be something to leave in a note to a client. Hey, I made your bed. I did notice that the fitted sheet was still a little damp. Went ahead and made it anyway. You might want to take some sheets off and let it dry out when you get home. I found the tag and I have it down at the corner. I know I'm out of frame right now, but usually you want to get that down at the right hand bottom corner, and that tells you the sheets are the right direction. Alright, and lastly, I just want to make sure this is tight in every direction. In this case, it is. So next, I will take the regular sheet. And again, I'm going to find that tag. This is going to go in the bottom right hand corner, and I want to make sure these sheets are not facing the wrong direction. So I have the seam facing this way, which means I need to flip them so that we are seam down. Okay, I have more of the sheet on that side than this side. So I'm going to pull a little on this side and get a little more of the sheets over here so that everything's even until that top seam is right at the top of the mattress and everything all the way down is tight. Then I'm going to lift up and get this whole thing tucked into the very bottom. Alright. So I'm going to pull this out just a bit. Use my arm to tuck all this extra in here, and I'm going to pull back down and create some tension so that I create this seam right here. That's called hospital corners, and that is how we make beds if we don't have any direction from the client. Then I'm going to come across and tuck this all in, and one last time flatten out the top, make sure everything's tight, no wrinkles, and it all looks good. Because this blanket's lighter weight, I'm going to put this on next. Lighter weight than this blanket over here that I have on the chair, that is. Looking for a tag. And here it is. So tag, bottom right hand corner, seams down. Now I can spread this blanket out. So now I have that there. For blankets, we're going to tuck on the bottom, just like we did the sheets. And then the sides, for blankets, you leave them hanging. So we get all the wrinkles out here, make sure this looks good. And we have blanket number 1 on. And once again, I did not tuck the sides of the blanket, just the sides of the sheets. Lastly, I have a heavy blanket. It's summer right now. I don't usually see a lot of blankets this heavy, but this client really likes their blankets. If it were winter, we could expect a duvet cover, which is something that we do change. All right, so once again, tag bottom right with all of the other tags. Trying to spread this out. This is a heavier blanket. It does not look like it's going to be heavy enough to tuck in the back. So I'm just going to lay it flat out over the bed Make sure I have the same amount hanging off both sides. I will kind of tuck it into the bed frame just for aesthetics. And as always, we're pulling tight at the top, making sure that it just matches up with that other blanket and top sheet. Cool. Now let's get to the pillowcases. As sometimes happens, you may not have all the pillowcases. This is a big pillow. It feels kind of lower quality than some of this client's other pillows. So I can tell that this is kind of our decoration pillow. Goes up front. Or actually, this one's bigger. So in this case, it's gonna go in the back. And when the pillows don't have cases originally, it can be kind of a guessing game. This felt like the most uncomfortable pillow, and so I'm putting it in the decorative pillowcase because I assume the client's not actually going to sleep on that. As I dig further into these pillowcases, this one right here is like a really nice silk pillowcase. I assume that that's the one the client is going to be sleeping on. Typically they'll sleep on the nicest case. So I'm gonna put the nicest pillow in there. And then one thing I also like to do for aesthetics is the envelope fold. I'm going to fold the pillowcase in, kind of like an envelope. This side goes over the pillow, and this extra, you just kind of tuck it in. So that's the envelope method. Also like to call it squishy ends. And what you get is a nice seam right there on the pillowcase. So again, this doesn't seem like the most comfortable pillow, so I'm assuming this is going to be second in line, not one that the client actually sleeps on. So when I go to make this, I'm going to put decorative in the back. We're going to put this extra pillow right in front of that, and the one we think the client's actually sleeping on, that one goes up front. You can see I have the seams both facing inward. And I have the non-seam side facing outward. Let me make sure that's in frame. And just barely. What I'm referring to are the seams of the pillowcase there, the squishy ends or the envelope side, that's facing inward. Okay, so found all the pillowcases, got the other side made. Now I'm just gonna tidy it up and make everything look really neat here. Want to go this way. Gonna smooth out this blanket, and I'm just trying to create a really inviting presentation so that when a client comes home from work or daycare, wherever they may be, that they have a clean home and a really inviting looking bed. If there's any fuzzies on here, I'll grab those. But I just want it to look really good. Again, I have the most comfortable pillows with the most comfortable pillowcases up front. Behind those, I have the less comfortable pillows. And then in the back, I have the decorative pillows. I have this pile of laundry on the ground right in front of me. The best thing to do with that is to take it to the laundry room and put it on top of the washing machine for the client. Just saves them a little bit of extra energy, and it makes everything in the bedroom look really good, really inviting when they get home. It's gonna result in a really happy client. They can walk into a clean house and go right to bed if that's what they wanna do. You might run into the scenario where you go into the washing room or the laundry room and it's totally full of clothes. It's there's nowhere to put the sheets. Best thing to do in that case is make a really neat pile after you vacuumed right in front of the laundry room. Just get it as close to the laundry room as possible.